Hi, welcome to a special edition of the CDPod. Today I'm not joined by Yuga, sadly, but I am joined by Carson and Amanda from the x402 team. And we're try something new today. We're going to do a little breakout technical track on a new feature that we just released in x402, arbitrary ERC-20 support. So the context here is x402 has always wanted to support any arbitrary ERC, any arbitrary token. And it does on like many chains. So the difficulty with tokens on the EVM is that there are a lot of tokens that are quite old and they may not support a long tail of or more modern ways of doing signature-based transfer. And so we leveraged Permit 2 to enable signature-based transfer. But the issue with Permit 2 is that once you approve something to transfer on your behalf, it can transfer arbitrary amounts of token for you. And so, Carson, what did we do in order to make it so that the facilitator can't just transfer arbitrary amounts of tokens on your behalf?
So we wrote a contract called the x402 exact Permit 2 proxy contract. And what this contract enables is essentially the guarantees we get out of EIP 3009, but with a Permit 2 flow. Specifically, this enforces that when a facilitator uses this contract to settle with the Permit 2 flow, in addition to Permit 2's security guarantees, we are also enforcing the destination and the amount. So with our Permit 2 integration and our contracts, we're able to elevate the Permit 2 flow to the same 3009 guarantees that we've come to love.
And so what that means is that you as a user, you don't approve the facilitator, you approve the x402 permit proxy contract.
Yes, that's correct. You are approving the Permit 2 proxy contract in this case.
Yeah, and then you sign a message, and then you send that message to the facilitator. The facilitator interacts with the Permit 2 proxy contract. That proxy contract checks if the payment adheres to the specification, and then will only move funds in accordance to what you've signed. And you get that same property of the facilitator can't arbitrarily route your funds because it's enforced via the proxy contract. There's kind of this problem still though, right? In that you need to, a lot of older tokens only support approvals or permit. And that means you have to broadcast the transaction on chain to actually have that whoever you're approving be able to move tokens on your behalf. And so that's, of course, in contention with our goal of x402 of making x402 gasless on every chain. And so could you tell us a bit about how we created the gasless experience for users and made it work with any possible token?
So basically there's two types of tokens here. There's tokens that are permit aware, which are the 2612 tokens. These tokens have built-in functionality to be able to put permit on chain. And then there's tokens that predate that, generic ERC-20s such as USDT that have no such capabilities that we had to separately solve for. So to do this, we have two separate gas sponsorship extensions. For the newer tokens that are permit to aware, we have an EIP 2612 gas sponsoring extension. This gets to maintain the same EIP 3009 flow where you are signing one signature and we're able to do both the permit and settle atomically through our contract. For the older tokens, for the more generic ERC-20s, we had to take a different flow. So as a signed transaction for a generic approval will be required, the way that we've accomplished a gasless flow here is this three-step scenario where when a client sees that extension, they will sign an ERC-20 approved, but they do not put it on chain. They include it as part of the x402 payload. And then on the facilitator side, when it runs into this scenario, it will send your account a little bit of ETH, just enough to cover the gas of the approve, and then immediately put your approved transaction on chain. and then it will call settle. So it ends up being 3 back-to-back operations that essentially enables a gasless flow for old tokens that to date haven't had a gasless experience.
That's awesome. Amanda, do you want to tell us a bit about what we're seeing now that you can use any EVM token and this works on any EVM chain?
Yeah, so you can use any ERC-20 token that's compatible with any EVM chain. That the contract can be deployed permissionlessly, which is pretty awesome. A couple of the ways we've been seeing people use it already is they've built their own ecosystem that use their own ERC-20 tokens to pay for things on their own ecosystem, which is pretty cool. Another one, like Carson mentioned, older tokens like USDT, which have massive adoption outside of the US, you can now use. And so it opens up this broad global market opportunity. Another one that I haven't actually seen, but I'm curious to see if it happens, is gaming tokens, because now you can use any ERC-20, which could be a gaming token, and it's got a gasless feature. So you can just the user doesn't have to know. It's seamless, and you could buy in-game items, you could trade stuff, you could send things. Oh, and if you're an agent and you don't have USDC, but you have this other token that is accepted by the resource server, you now no longer have to swap it and deal with slippage and deal with any of those sort of uncertainties. You can just use what you have in your agentic pocket, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, the sky is basically the limit.
Would you say that we're going to the moon?
To the moon. I would.
Okay, to recap. Number one, x402 supported arbitrary tokens on most chains for a long time, like Solana, Aptos, many of the non-EVM chains have supported arbitrary tokens since inception. For a long time on EVM chains, x402 only supported EIP 3009 compatible tokens. And that's because we've wanted to deliver a gasless experience to all users. What we're announcing today is we now have a way for you to have a fully gasless experience on any EVM chain using any token via a new contract that we've deployed. This is a contract that is fully permissionless to deploy. Anyone can deploy it on any chain with or without us. And a new extension which handles micro gas sponsorship for the initial approval of that contract for older ERC-20 tokens. All of that comes together to make it so we now support on x402 any token on any chain. So this has been a great session. Thanks so much, Amanda and Carson, for joining me. And look, this was fun. We should do more of these builder updates on CDPod.
Eric?
Thanks for having us.
Lead the world's transition on-chain by building with Coinbase Developer Platform. Visit us at cdp.coinbase.com, follow us on X at Coinbase Dev, and be sure to leave us a review on your favorite podcast app.